Some of the instantaneous reaction to what I have is not surprising via the text. Gresh, what are you waiting 1 to 2 year stopgap for? This is the offseason potential top 5 pick, lots of money to sign free agents. What are we waiting 1 to 2 years for? And then they said, thank God you're on the radio, not in the front office. Get a clue. To which I responded to said, sir, check a free agent list. Check the free agent list for next year in terms of what you've got at, here we go. I'll click on wide receiver right here, right? Here are your projected free agents. You ready, folks? Mike Evans, and I want that guy because of the Brady connection, and he's a dude, and he doesn't get hurt, and he's mentally tough. Odell Beckham Jr., Curtis Samuel, Tyler Boyd, Cedric Wilson. Sixth on this list is Kendrick Bourne. So in my scenario, if I'm just going by the potential free agent list in terms of the whole patching it up or whatever, and again, I'm pairing this group, let's call it, with a guy like Kirk Cousins. I bite the bullet and give him the $30 million or $35 million to bring him in and compete, or maybe you end up getting him for a little less. But it's evident you got to bring someone in to compete with Mac. And quite honestly, if you're just going to pick one at the top of the draft, you're starting a 3-year process. And I don't think anybody is interested in that. So when you look at the actual possibilities, because there's been a lot of narrative around, well, the Patriots have $100 million in cap space. Okay. Well, you can target players in trade, and it does kind of cut down on some of the money a little bit because whatever bonus money or guarantees that are paid are kind of left with the other team, right? So everybody's screaming you got a ton of money to spend, but who are you spending it on? As I go to Spot Track, the number one tight end to be listed in free agency. Now, again, you're going by average annual value, but when you start to read the list, you realize, is Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry is the top of the guy on a potential free agent list. Here are the people behind him. Dalton Schultz, Gerald Everett of the Chargers, and believe it or not, fourth on the list, Mike Gesicki. That's where you're at tight end in terms of free agents right now. If you're starting to think about how in the world can I find a way to make this work? And again, in my scenario, this is also, you're going to pair a veteran quarterback with Bill Belichick, and you're still going to have Mac Jones around to be one of those guys as a backup. Because it's nice to sit here and scream, tear it down to the ground. But as we know, you're not going to be able to change out all 20 of, let's say, your offensive players. It isn't feasible. So at some point, you got to start to think about a real plan that can work. And here's the other thing, because I know in the Twitch chat, there was a lot of pushback of, what about Marvin Harrison Jr.? What about Marvin Harrison Jr.? Here's the problem the Patriots have. The Patriots are going to play the Giants after the bye. What's that? 3 weeks from now, right? You could argue the loser of that game will probably be in the best position to get a top 5 pick or maybe even the number 4 pick, let's say. Somebody's got to win that game. I don't know who's going to try hard. I don't know. We'll get to that in a couple of weeks. But it's going to be hard to outsuck the combination of the Bears, the Panthers, and the Cardinals. The Cardinals clearly have their objective. I think we see what they're trying to do. They're headed towards another number 1 pick where they probably take Caleb Williams and then move on from Calamari, which is why I put them on this list in terms of veteran QBs that you could shop from. You could go trade for that guy if you wanted to. I'm not inclined to do so. And then you have the Bears who own the Panthers pick. So I can't see another scenario where at 1, 2, and 3 in this draft, there isn't some semblance of those 2 Chicago picks and what Arizona's going to do. So now you're looking at 4, 5, maybe 6. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes off the board in the top 3. I really don't think there's any question. In this upcoming draft, Caleb Williams will be drafted high if he comes out. Drake May will get pushed up the board. And Marvin Harrison Jr., for my money, might be the best player coming out of college football this year. And I don't think any of those guys are going to be on the board for New England. And if there's one thing about, unless there is someone not named Bill Belichick running the organization, I do not think there would be a trade up either to go, say, grab one of those guys. So that's why I'm looking at it from at least trying to be a little practical. Okay, the roster can be torn down a little bit. The roster can be tweaked a little bit. And not everybody here, even though they're all not playing great, not everybody here is trash that you throw away. I don't think Patriot fans are dissatisfied with Zeke. While I think Fourier might have been sick of hearing from Hunter Henry, and he was really low when we talked to him on Monday, that might be the best of the lot that would be out there at tight end. So that's why you got to consider thinking about bringing this guy back. 617-779-7937. So you can get the veteran quarterback, but BB is here for another year. That's the catch. We'll go get the veteran, but Bill's the guy that is going to get one more kick at the can, considering what he has given you. 617-779-7937. Jack in Wakefield with Gresh and Fourier. Hello, Jack.
Hi, good morning. Okay, so Bill O'Brien, right? I don't want to say I told you so, but you guys thought you were going to get T-Hops. He only wants the money. He hated Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien traded him. He used him to get more money. You said Bill O'Brien was the sure thing. Now it appears that two guys last year who never even coached offense have a better record. Bill O'Brien, his coaching record as a head coach, college and pro, 54-52. Yeah, he went to the playoffs a couple of times.
A lot of guys
at 9-7.
There's a lot of guys, Jack, who have losing records out there, and there's no question we thought the results would be better. I would also say that if you really want to, go down the road of the deep dive and everything, there's also strength of schedule and things like that you throw in there as well. But there's no question that the offensive production is about what it was last year, but it looks different. We know that people aren't running into each other out there. We know that guys aren't out there looking to the sideline or waving off Bill O'Brien as play calls and things are coming into their head. And look, that's all a feel and looking at things from a schematic standpoint. The results aren't there. And for a lot of people, when the results aren't there, then you look at it and say, well, it's this or that. Notice in this plan for 2024 that I kind of rolled out today, it did not include bumping Bill O'Brien off of the coaching staff. I don't think the issue is Bill O'Brien and play calling and things like that. It's the whole, they're just this close. And because they've been just this close, it stings that much more. That's why I don't think the coaching end of it is broken. The question is, how do you get the roster up to speed for next year? Because I'm not as interested in the teardown as everyone else is. If there's a way to be able to patch it all and then make it work. And then if it completely crumbles, then it's easy to move on from everybody. Because if you look at the way the teams and the contracts are structured, just like they would be no tight ends in the roster after this year, I don't think there would be a defensive lineman left after 2024. So there's immense roster flexibility, no question. Let's go to Derek in Boston with Gresh and Fourier. What's up, D?
Hey, first time, long time. But, come on, man. This needs a full rebuild. You want to go to quarterback purgatory? Kirk Cousins? Give me a break, dude. There's no veteran quarterback coming off of this. This team needs a full rebuild.
All right, so Derek,
this offense is pathetic.
All right, Derek, fair. Tell me the quarterback in college right now that is going to be great.
Well, first of all, obviously Caleb Williams. But I don't know if we can be able to lose that and get that pick.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're not going to you're not going to get it. That's the thing.
They are a really bad team, though. We just lost. I was at the Commanders game. We're a bad team. We can lose to anybody. We honestly can.
Derek,
I don't looking at that schedule.
No, look, and the whole look at the schedule and all that stuff. Here's the thing. There have been divisions in this. There have been divisions where the last place team rises up and wins the NFC South was like that for a bunch of years. Last place team finished in first. And again, you say, if you're ready for the full teardown and rebuild, then what you're signing up for is guaranteed losing for 2 years. And everybody has Caleb Williams and Drake May. And then when you start to get down the road of the other quarterbacks, I would dare say, and I am not trying to insult the good people out there, but I would dare say that unless you ran to the internet and Googled and looked at a list, you wouldn't be able to even figure out or process who the third quarterback in the stack would be. When they look at Shiloh Sanders, or Shadir, people are going to laugh at the pro level because there's not a lot of sophisticated route concept stuff there. And again, is Caleb Williams going to be good? Maybe. Maybe he goes down there and is just Kyler Murray 2.0, where he puts up some numbers and doesn't win a ton. And you mentioned about Kirk Cousins and being in quarterback purgatory. Here's what puts you in quarterback purgatory: overdrafting a guy at the position because you just want one. If it's Caleb Williams or Drake May, then we can have a real conversation. But let's say the Patriots get the 5th or the 6th pick. You're not taking Michael Penix at the top of the draft. And you don't, and that's the one way to get into purgatory, is to overdraft somebody that shouldn't be there. And I know that Bill has been hit or miss on free agent guys, right? But good grief, what do you trust more in an evaluation from the people in Foxborough if there is going to be one more year? It's the guys in the league than outside the league, in my opinion. Steve in Maine, Gresh and Fourier. What up, Steve?
How are you, my good man? I just think that Patriots fans are going to have to start resorting to the fact that we're going to end up with a pick somewhere between 10 and 12. I see them winning a couple of these games in the second half of the season, and like you said a little bit ago, it's hard to outsuck some of the other teams that are in the league. And I think they're probably going to be looking at maybe an offensive lineman in the first round and maybe drafting J.J. McCarthy from Michigan in the second round. But I'll hang up and listen to what you think, Gresh. I really like your show.
Well, Steve, thank you. And I think you make sense, quite honestly, because I can't count on the Patriots being in the top 3. And if your thought is Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Marvin Harrison Jr., if those are the top 3 in the draft as of right now. Now, I do think that offensive lineman from Penn State, and I always screw up pronouncing his name, but Fashanu, thank you. That guy, how about this? In a year where there wouldn't be the big quarterback, this guy might be the number 1 pick. Him and Harrison would be the 2 that would be battling for it and competing for it. Because I'll tell you what, here's the other thing that I haven't rolled out to you folks. What if you go defense with the pick? Now, in an alternate universe, you would think, oh my God, how does that make any sense? But if you traded for Cousins, re-signed Zeke, re-signed Henry, re-signed Onwenu, do you have the ability to shop elsewhere in free agency for other veteran offensive linemen and then draft, say, I don't know, maybe you could get the top corner in the draft, okay, with a cool name. Maybe you could get Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama, and you pair him up with Christian Gonzalez. Because I know in the world of, oh, my God, look at all these wide receivers that we're afraid of, in that world, why wouldn't you be able to value a corner as being worthy of a top 5 or a top 7 pick, however it ends up? Then again, some of the guys you really might want might be gone. And then guess what's going to happen? If it's Bill, you're trading down that board. And here we go once again. You're going to take an asset and you're going to move it around. And it's probably just going to get everybody really upset. Couple of Patriot notes to get to. Number one, found out about Adrian Clem and what happened with him yesterday. According to Bill Belichick, who did not expand upon this at his press conference today, Bill Belichick said that Adrian Clem has a medical issue which is why he was not doing the press conferences yesterday. I know there was the buzz of, well, he missed it, so by God, maybe he's getting fired. No, apparently there's something medical going on, and he's not going to Germany. And according to Bill Belichick, he's not going to be around for a couple of weeks. And in the interim, Billy Yates is going to take over. So if you want to be one of the people to go down the conspiracy theory road that they're making this up to cover Adrian Clem, God bless you. You can go ahead and do that. Boys, who was it that had the nugget? Was it Rappaport? I think, okay. Rap Sheet has it that J.C. Jackson is not expected to travel with the team to Germany for their game against the Colts. Sources tell Rappaport and Mike Garafolo. Rap Sheet says, with questions about his reliability, the decision was made to have him stay home, get through the bye, and return in a better place. Huh? So, is J.C. Jackson hurt? Because the way Ian Rappaport makes that sound, the decision was made to have him stay home, get through the bye, and return in a better place.
So Albert Breer just had the report a minute ago that J.C. Jackson was late to the team hotel on Saturday, and that was part of why he didn't play on Sunday.
This guy's trying to get cut. I'm convinced. So J.C. Jackson signs the big deal, goes all the way to L.A., they fall out of love with him real quick. And I know that they had some changes on their coaching staff, so maybe that did tie into it in terms of this guy fit what we wanted to do, now we're doing something else. Okay, fine. But then there's the way J.C. Jackson is acting. And come on, man. You're a veteran. You shouldn't be late. You're a veteran. You know what it's like to be here as well. Yeah, Albert Breer. Late to the team hotel on Saturday, per sources. Part of why he started Sunday's game versus the Commanders on the bench. Now he's not making the trip to Germany. You know what? Thank God they really gave up nothing for this guy.